The winds of vengeance howled through the ravines of Greece as 10,000 Spartans marched once more toward destiny. Years had passed since the blood-soaked pass of Thermopylae, but the memory of Leonidas and his 300 still burned like a torch in every Spartan's heart. The Persians had taken their king, desecrated his body, and mocked his name, but Sparta never forgot. And tonight, neither would history. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we step into one of the most brutal and glorious acts of retribution the ancient world ever witnessed. The night before battle, campfires flickered across the plain like restless spirits. The air reeked of sweat, oil, and the metallic tang of sharpened bronze. Veterans who had fought under Leonidas whispered stories of the last stand, how arrows had darkened the sky, how blood had soaked the stones. Young warriors listened in silence, their hands tightening around spears. In the distance, the Persian camp shimmered with arrogance, lavish tents, golden armor, drums echoing through the night. But beneath that splendor lay unease, for the Persians had learned one truth: Spartans may die, but their wrath never fades. When dawn came, it came red. The sun rose over smoke and iron, revealing a phalanx of men who marched like a single creature, a wall of shields, spears glinting like fangs. At their center strode Pausanias, regent of Sparta, eyes hard as flint. He carried not just the weight of war, but of vengeance itself. Behind him, 10,000 warriors moved in perfect silence. The ground trembled beneath their sandals. To the Persians who waited across the plain, it looked less like an army and more like a storm, one forged from rage, loss, and memory. Across the field, the Persian ranks glittered with wealth and pride. Their general, Mardonius, cousin of Xerxes, believed himself unstoppable. He had mocked the Greek gods and promised to erase Sparta from the earth. His soldiers wore silks and gilded helmets, their chariots dragged by black horses bred for war. But Mardonius had never faced a Spartan phalanx before. He had never seen the cold discipline of men who kill not for glory, but for duty. When the horns of Sparta roared, even the Persian drums faltered. The gods, it seemed, had returned to watch the reckoning. The clash came like thunder. Spears shattered, men screamed, and the earth turned to blood beneath thousands of feet. The Spartan line advanced without mercy, shields overlapping, spears thrusting in rhythmic fury. Persian cavalry crashed against them and broke like waves on stone. Arrows rained, but the phalanx moved forward, unyielding, unstoppable. The Battle of Plataea had begun, and it was not a fight for territory or gold. It was vengeance incarnate, carved in bronze and bone. For every Spartan slain at Thermopylae, 10 Persians fell this day. Pausanias fought in the front line, his armor dented, his face streaked with dust and blood. For Leonidas, he roared, driving his spear through a Persian captain's chest. The name carried like lightning through the ranks. Every Spartan repeated it, a sacred echo across centuries. For Leonidas, they cried. For the 300, the Persians began to waver, their pride collapsing under the relentless precision of Spartan discipline. Fear spread through their lines like fire through dry grass. The men who once believed themselves gods now realized they were mortal and very, very afraid. As the day burned on, the Spartans encircled the enemy camp. Smoke rose from burning tents, and Persian war banners crumbled into ash. The air was thick with the stench of sweat, blood, and burning silk. Mardonius, defiant to the end, rallied his guards for a final stand. He shouted curses at the Greeks, his voice hoarse with rage. But fate had already turned against him. A Spartan spear found its mark, piercing his chest. He fell, choking on his own blood, the last breath of Persia's arrogance swallowed by the dust of Greece. When the Persian general fell, panic consumed the invaders. Horses screamed, men fled, and rivers ran red with blood. The Spartans advanced with silent fury, their formation unbroken. Pausanias ordered no quarter. "Let none escape," he said coldly. "They brought war to our gates. Now we bring silence to theirs." It was not cruelty, it was justice as the ancients understood it. The vengeance of Sparta was not loud, not boastful. It was deliberate, efficient, beautiful in its brutality. By evening, the plain was quiet again. The Persians lay where they fell, their gold and silk drowned in blood and mud. Crows gathered as the Spartans stood in grim silence, staring across the carnage. They had avenged their king. They had avenged Thermopylae. Yet there was no joy, only exhaustion and the haunting stillness that follows divine retribution. The men looked to the west, where the sun sank behind the hills. Some whispered that they could almost see Leonidas there, watching, nodding in approval. The next morning, the survivors began to bury their dead. The Spartans did not sing. They placed their fallen beneath stones, marking each grave with the name of the warrior and his city. There were no ornate tombs, no gilded statues, just earth and silence. But for the Persians, no burial rites were given. Their bodies were left for the vultures, their banners trampled into the mud. History would not remember their names, only their defeat. For Sparta, this was not merely victory, it was purification. Word of the battle spread across Greece like wildfire. Messengers carried tales of Spartan vengeance from Athens to Delphi, from Corinth to Thebes. The people rejoiced, yet beneath the celebration was awe and a touch of fear. The Spartans had proved that the gods favored them still. They had turned back the might of Persia, avenged their dead, and restored the honor of their fallen king. To defy Sparta now was to defy destiny itself. Back in Sparta, mothers and widows lined the roads to greet the returning soldiers. There were no cheers, only proud silence. Spartan women did not weep for heroes, they bore them. Pausanias walked among them, his armor still streaked with Persian blood, his eyes hollow from what he had seen. He carried Leonidas' memory like a sacred flame, one that would never be extinguished. Behind him, the surviving warriors marched with measured steps, their shadows long in the setting sun. The victory at Plataea marked the end of the Persian dream of conquest in Greece. The once mighty invaders retreated eastward, their empire shaken to its core. Xerxes, the god king who had once commanded 1,000,000 men, now ruled over silence. In the temples of Sparta, priests lit fires to honor Ares and Zeus, thanking them for vengeance delivered. Yet even as they celebrated, the air carried a weight, a realization that vengeance, once claimed, leaves a void too vast for glory to fill. In time, poets would tell the tale of Plataea as divine justice, the day Sparta's iron broke the spine of empire. They would speak of heroes who fought without fear, of discipline so pure it bordered on the sacred. But among the warriors themselves, memories lingered darker. They spoke in low voices of screams that never ended, of the stink of burnt flesh, of brothers who fell silently beside them. The gods, they knew, were not kind. They were only watching. Years later, old veterans would gather in the agora, recounting the march to Plataea to wide-eyed youths. We avenged Thermopylae, one would say, but no one truly wins a war. The young men would nod, eager and naive, not yet understanding that vengeance carves its own scars, ones that no victory can heal. Still, the story lived on, passed down like a flame in the dark. For centuries, historians debated the meaning of Plataea. Was it vengeance, justice, or divine punishment? Perhaps it was all three. For the Spartans, it had been personal, an oath kept across generations. For the Persians, it was a warning carved in the memory of empire. Never underestimate the wrath of the disciplined, the quiet, and the patient. Even now, the name Plataea carries the echo of that lesson, resonating through the dust of history. The battlefield itself became sacred ground. Travelers who passed through said they could still feel the presence of ghosts, the clash of bronze, the thunder of hooves, the cries of dying men. Farmers refused to plow the soil there, fearing to disturb the restless spirits beneath. In spring, red flowers grew among the bones, like drops of blood reborn. The land remembered what men preferred to forget. Pausanias, hailed as a hero, would meet a darker fate. Pride in politics would one day turn Sparta against him, accusing him of treachery. He would die in a temple, starved and alone. Proof that even heroes cannot escape the cycle of vengeance they create. But that is another story. For now, his legacy remained untarnished. The man who avenged Thermopylae, the regent who made Persia kneel. And so, the memory of Thermopylae and Plataea intertwined, one of loss, one of retribution. Together they formed the spine of Greek identity, the eternal reminder that courage outlives empire. The Spartans did not seek peace. They sought honor, even in death. To them, dying well was victory enough. Living to avenge, that was divine. The ashes of Plataea settled into history, but the spirit of the 10,000 never faded. They became legends, their deeds carved in stone and sung in whispers. When night falls over Greece and the wind moves through the hills, some say you can still hear the echo of bronze upon bronze, the march of vengeance fulfilled. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories of courage, tragedy, and the eternal fire of human defiance. And remember, even in defeat, Sparta never truly dies.